Hi there. Thank you for tuning in to Giving You Keys to Home Ownership. Are you interested in purchasing your first home or even your second home? Come on in so I can show you how to purchase a home in today's current market. Come on in, follow me. Hello everybody. Welcome to Giving You Keys to Home Ownership. I'm your host, Kimberly Watson Johnson, and today we want to welcome Ashley Wait-Woodcock with AWS Title Service, who's here to talk to us about probate in a real estate transaction. So Ashley, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you got going on, girl.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm Ashley Wait-Woodcock with AWS Law and Title. We are an attorney-owned and operated title insurance company providing clear chain of title for real estate transactions.
Okay.
What that means is we handle the real estate closing.
Okay. And so you handle the real estate closing. Okay. And what makes you different than other title companies that handle closings?
I would say primarily it's my legal background. I have extensive legal background. I'm a paralegal. I've been a paralegal for 20 years. Prior to real estate, I did estate planning, tax, corporate, probate, elder law, family law, real estate development, commercial residential closings. So I would just say that my experience is extensive in all areas of law.
Very extensive.
Other than criminal.
Other than criminal.
Yeah.
Okay. So other than your 20 years in the business, don't want to date you. What degrees, certifications, licenses do you hold? I mean, like, do you have to have like certain educational things to put you in this position, other than, you know, your knowledge of the time?
Right. So every title company has to have a licensed title agent.
Okay.
Unless it is owned by a real estate attorney, then the attorney has the license that can conduct the closings.
Okay.
Our attorney has, of course, his bar license. I have my Florida licensed title agent license, so I'm appointed through the state of Florida. I also am a Florida registered paralegal, appointed by the Florida Bar. I'm a notary public, which typically most title companies, title agents, paralegals have to be, because you're working hand in hand in the files with the paperwork and having to notarize the documents.
Okay. Okay.
Mrs. Keys, how you doing today? Hi, boy. Nice to see you. Okay, so this one is it. Come on in. All right. Come on in. Y'all come on in. Ooh. Yay. I love. So if you happen to see any homes that you are interested in getting more information on, please don't hesitate to give me a call at 727-946-6949. Have a great day. Bye.
Well, today what we have you here is we want to focus on that probate thing.
Yes, the scary probate.
The scary probate, the thing that no one is ever prepared for.
Correct.
So let's talk.
Okay, so prior to real estate, I was a probate paralegal.
Okay.
For, let's say, 10 years, give or take. I handled maybe 50 to 60 probates at a time.
Okay.
I handled probates down in Naples, where I lived for 6 years prior to coming to Tampa. And I've worked for 2 different estate planning and elder law attorneys here in Tampa, where I also did estate planning, tax, corporate, and probate. So probate is the process that happens if assets are held solely in a deceased person's name when they pass.
Okay.
So a lot of times people will say, oh, everybody has this perception, or they've been told, oh, I have a will, so I'm good. I won't have to go through probate. That's not true. So it's all about how assets are titled.
Okay.
So the will tells the court how to administer the estate.
Okay.
If you have bank accounts, they need to be held jointly, husband and wife. Or if somebody doesn't have a spouse or a partner, typically they might name a relative, a child, so long as they're of age, of legal age. You can't name anybody on any asset, whether it's real estate, financial accounts. They can't be minors. So, well, that could lead into guardianship, which we could touch on after probate. So it's most important to know if the property is held solely in a deceased person's name when they pass,
Okay.
even if they have a will, you still need probate. So there is a legal document. People are familiar with a warranty deed or a quitclaim deed.
Correct.
Sometimes people will call it a quick claim deed. It's not quick.
It's quit.
It's a quit. So another name of a deed is a ladybird deed,
Right.
which is also called an enhanced life estate deed.
Okay.
The ladybird deed was named after Lady Bird Johnson. Just a little fun fact.
Okay.
And that actually passes property upon death.
Okay.
So the owner of the property still owns the property
When he dies.
as they're alive.
Okay.
They're still the owner, the grantor, if
Okay.
you will.
Okay.
Then the ladybird deed will name a named remainderman is the legal term.
Okay.
So when the person passes, that deed allows the property to pass upon death with the recording of a death certificate.
Okay. So we got to backtrack a little bit because you're like way up here and I need to bring it down some.
Okay.
Okay, so someone passes, they have a will. Mm-hmm. The will says I'm leaving everything to my child. So they still have to go through probate?
If the child is not named on the deed, and if the child is not a minor.
Okay. So, that's wow.
And it's really sad because a lot of people, whether it's miscommunication or not proper understanding, getting an estate plan. People get an estate plan so that they're protected.
Okay.
A lot of times the estate plan doesn't protect them fully if they don't handle every component that needs to be done. Right. Yes, do a will. That tells the court how to administer the estate.
Okay.
Estate is also a term for probate.
Okay.
It's synonymous.
Okay.
So if somebody says probate or somebody says estate, it's one and the same.
Okay. Gotcha.
It could be called estate administration.
Okay, I understand. I understand. So now you touched on a ladybird deed. I have heard of those. Now, correct me. My understanding of a ladybird deed is if you have it, you could have it, you still control the property, and you name who will be in the property will be willed to upon your demise. But if they make you mad, you can take them off.
Correct.
And
You can
put 'em
always
back
change
on.
it.
And you can take them off. You can put them back on. You can just do whatever to the extent of who's entitled. But at the end, if you pass, they're on that paperwork. They still have to go through probate.
No.
Okay.
If there is a ladybird deed
Okay.
and it names a person who is 18 years or older,
Okay.
there does not need to be a probate.
Okay.
Now, it's important to mention there's something called an enhanced life estate deed, which is what we just talked about. So the enhanced life estate deed is the ladybird deed.
Okay. Okay.
There's also something known as a life estate deed that is missing that word enhanced in front of it. The difference between an enhanced life estate deed and a life estate deed is that the remaindermen, the named people that you want the property to go to, they either have to join in or join out. So when you say joinder,
Okay.
for an example, let's say that I'm naming somebody on my deed.
Okay.
If I'm doing an enhanced life estate deed, it goes to those people.
Okay.
If I change my mind and want to change it, I can do that. If I did the life estate deed and not the enhanced, and I named people, if I wanted to make any further changes to that, those people would have to also sign.
Oh.
So it's very important, the verbiage in the deed, and to make sure that the deed is called the right name. Sometimes people will refer to the different deeds or documents or legal terms incorrectly, and that could cause a huge problem if they're not using the right terms and describing what they're trying to accomplish.
Okay. So, okay. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Just explain, what is probate? No, a lot of people, you'd be surprised, don't even know. You hear the word probate, you hear it's going to go through probate. People don't even know what probate is. What is the what is probate?
Probate is the court process that passes assets.
Okay. Court process that passes assets, okay. So you have to go to court.
Correct. So if a deceased person has anything named solely in their name at the time of death, they have to go through probate. They have to open a probate with the clerk of the court in the county in which they were domiciled.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just...
So for probate avoidance, right? Everybody wants probate avoidance. What can we do to where we don't have to go through probate? It's all about having your assets titled, not in individual name. So bank accounts need to be held jointly.
Okay.
You can put a TOD account, transfer on death, or a POD, pay on death. If there's a named beneficiary, if there's a life insurance policy, and there's a named beneficiary, you don't go through probate. If the person has named somebody as a beneficiary, you don't have to go through probate. So on a deed, if it's Mr. John Smith, a single man,
okay,
there's nobody named there. So that asset would have to go through the probate process, so the court would determine who gets Mr. John Smith's house. So Mr. John Smith can do a ladybird deed, which is a probate avoidance instrument.
Okay.
That's really the only thing he can do, unless he passes it while he's still living, which obviously he wouldn't want to do.
Okay. So when a person has a life insurance policy and they have a beneficiary, but they own a home as John Smith, single male, we still go through probate?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, because I almost mixed that up, thinking that if they had a life insurance policy and they had a beneficiary, then there's no probate here.
No. So my point of saying assets in general.
Okay.
To avoid probate, not even just in a real estate fashion.
Yes.
Any and all assets that a person owns, real estate, financial accounts. It's not a matter of if you have a will or not. It's a matter of how assets are titled.
Okay.
If that's like a great takeaway that I always want to share with people, because I hear people say all the time, oh, I have a will, I don't need a probate. Or people will think that they own a home and they want to go sell it. Oh, well, grandma died and she gave me the house. And so they're reaching out to realtors and they're saying they're going to sell this house because, you know, grandma left it to them in the will, so it's theirs. It's not how it works. So the first thing I do if I get a phone call from a realtor, referral partner, attorney, lender, whoever, a neighbor, a friend, first question is, what is the property address? Because I want to look it up. I'll pull the last deed of record and I'll see how it's titled, how the warranty deed is titled, who is the owner. If it's deceased grandma, grandson is not selling the home. So it's always good to do the due diligence ahead of time, because it's not necessarily that people aren't truthful, it's that they don't know what they're saying. They don't know the process. They don't know how it works.
I have been in this business 20 years, and I always thought if I had a will, I did what I was supposed to do, then I'm good to go. But obviously not. So we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Mortgages should not be transactional. They should be about the relationship. Your loan officer should be your financial advisor, your consultant. I don't want to help you buy just one house. I want to help you with your next house and the house after that. I want to make you comfortable enough to refer your friends, your family, and your coworkers to me for help buying their home. Hi, my name is Thomas Barrett. I'm with the Thomas Barrett Mortgage Team at Cross Country Mortgage. I'm a senior loan officer and sales manager, and I've been in the business for 25 years, helping people achieve the dream of home ownership and helping people lower their mortgage payments with refinances. Some of the programs that I offer, the lowest rates and best terms on are FHA, conventional, USDA, renovation loans, jumbo loans. I'm a first-time home buyer specialist. I'm one of the top lenders in the state for down payment assistance programs and closing cost assistance programs. If you need help buying a home, or you know anyone else that needs help buying a home or refinancing their home, please send them to me. Again, my name is Thomas Barrett, and I want to be your mortgage consultant for life. And of course, don't forget our military. Our team loves doing VA veteran loans. God bless the USA.
Now, you did briefly touch on it. Now, if someone passes away and leaves the property to their grandson, but he's like, say, 16, let's say 17.
Okay.
Is that okay?
It's all about minimization of risk,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So if somebody leaves a home to a 17-year-old, more than likely pretty soon they're going to be turning 18.
Okay.
So the minimization of risk of that is not as bad as leaving a home to a 5-year-old.
Okay, there you go.
Right.
To a 5-year-old.
Right? Because if the grandchild is very young, there is a high probability, God forbid, grandma passes, and said minor gets the home.
Okay.
If said grandson, granddaughter is 17, going to be 18 in 2 months, the risk isn't there, because as soon as somebody is considered an adult, right, age of 18,
Right.
what we recognize, then it's fine.
Okay.
If they're 18. If not, then a guardianship has to be opened in the court, in the clerk of the court. So sometimes people associate guardianship with elder people, with people with dementia or Alzheimer's, people in the elder law umbrella. So there's guardianships for old people, and there's guardianships for little people.
Okay.
And you want to avoid those at all costs too.
Okay. So now, would the court appoint a guardianship person?
Correct.
Okay.
They will appoint somebody, or again, as a nomination in the will, there would be a named guardian in the will. That's also important for estate planning purposes, is the will doesn't necessarily prevent probate. The will directs the court how to administer the probate.
Okay.
So in the will, if a husband and wife have a minor child, it will name the guardian who they want appointed. God forbid, mom and dad pass away at the same time, maybe a freak plane crash or something, then they will name a guardian of their minor child. And that guardian would petition the court to have the guardianship opened in order to facilitate the distribution of assets for the minor.
Okay. Okay. So how do you avoid probate? How do you avoid dealing with probate especially with real estate?
Yeah, everybody always needs to make sure they understand how their deed is titled. Always, always, always. Another term that you might be familiar with or see on a deed is with full rights of survivorship. So let's say a brother and sister own a home. Mm-hmm. Maybe they got it passed down to them, whatever. And they're holding it joint tenants with full rights of survivorship. If it has that verbiage on the deed, then it would pass to the other named person. So for example, if my brother and I had a property and we held it joint tenants with full rights of survivorship, we both are 50% owners.
Okay.
And if, God forbid, if I died, it would go to him. If he would die, it would go to me.
Okay, so it doesn't go to your kids. It goes
Correct.
to you. Mm-hmm. Because that's where a lot of confusion lies in. It's like, okay, so dad and mom passed. You got 3 siblings. One of the siblings passes. So you got 2 siblings, and then you got some nieces and nephews over there. People get the conception that then we got this one, the brother, sister, and the niece and nephew are brought up into that person's position.
It depends on the verbiage.
Okay.
It depends on the will.
Okay.
There's a legal term.
We're talking no will. No will.
Okay, no will. Give me the scenario again.
No will, no nothing. Mom, dad dies. Leave the home
There's
to
3 kids.
3 kids. One of the children die. So now they have 2 children of their own. Those children come into their position in the holdings of their portion of the house.
Right.
Is that how that works? Because nothing's been probated. Just mom and
Correct.
dad's gone, and we just got this house. And
Okay, so there's there's testate. There's lots of different forms of probate. So there's
Okay.
I could go in detail, but I'm trying to Cliff's Notes version this. So there's testate laws, which means there is a will.
okay,
Testate. Then there's intestate, which means there's not a will.
okay,
So there's Florida statute governed under testate laws and Florida statute governed under intestate laws.
okay,
Intestate would fall in that scenario where there's not a will,
Okay.
and it would be the intestacy laws. So if it goes down, like if you look at a family tree,
Right.
Per stirpes is the term. So it goes down. If there's no down, it goes up. If there's no up, it goes out. If there's no out, then it goes down, I believe. So it's very complex without having my statute book in front of me to verify exactly that scenario.
okay. Because that was just the biggest thing. Because I find a lot of people are like, I have gotten listings where one of the siblings is gone. Parents never left the will, just like, oh, well, mom and them had planned on leaving our brother the house. So brother's been staying in there. There is no will.
Right.
We never did probate. Then brother passes, but he has 2 kids. Now his 2 kids want his portion of the house. And I'm like, I don't understand.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't know.
And that's very complicated. That's a very complex situation. And I want to kind of back up a little bit. I don't want you to think that I'm saying a will isn't important. A will is important.
Right.
A will does not prevent probate.
Okay.
So having it in connection, yes, have a will. Yes, make sure people are named. Who do you want your asset? Like, who's going to get your asset? Who do you want it to go to? In addition to that, you also have to make sure the assets are held properly.
Okay.
Titled properly, I should say.
Okay. Okay. And that just keeps everything
In line.
flowing well.
Yes. Yes.
In line is
Yes.
the word. You're right. In line, but flowing well. Flowing well. Okay. That's good. That's good. Anything else you want to tell us now that you've blown the top of my head off?
Well, so we talked about probate. We talked about guardianship. Okay, so there's something called an ancillary administration. Mm-hmm. So everybody hears the term estate planning, right? Estate planning is what you do to plan prior to death.
Okay.
So estate planning is prior to death. Estate administration is after death. An ancillary administration is what comes into play if you have a deceased person who has assets in different states. So let's say some of the snowbirds, or we have people in Florida that own multiple properties in multiple states, right? There has to be, a probate has to be filed in the state in which they were domiciled, where they lived. Let's say primarily their residence was up north.
Okay.
And they just came down here part of the time, but their residence was in Florida. If they live and died up north, but yet they had a second home here, there would have to be 2 probates done. There would have to be their probate done where they live up north, and then they would open what's called an ancillary administration here in Florida for the one real estate asset.
Okay.
And I've handled many closings where I've had multiple probates in multiple states. I have one right now. I have 2 probates and a guardianship in one file. So it's very complex. Again, how and why are title companies different? You want to hope that all title companies are professional, which, right, typically you would think that they are. But what really differentiates us and me specifically is all of the files that I've handled, all of the probates I've done over the course of my career, the different guardianships, the different scenarios. You get more experience with more files, right? And last year I closed close to 700 files. So with regards to experience,
Did you say 700? Sorry,
Yes.
my bad. I didn't mean to stop you like that. 700? Oh my God, girl. Now, is that 700 files? That were all probate, were they?
no,
Oh, okay, okay.
gosh, no. But if I went back over the years and really tried to think about how many probates or guardianships I had handled over the years, I mean, it would be thousands.
Okay.
So if anybody has a weird scenario or a weird family story, or I have seen it. I have dealt with it. I have handled it. And I think through the industry, the surrounding counties, I pride myself on being a resource to people, to my clients, to my realtor partners. I want to be your phone a friend, right? If you have a question, I just want to make sure that the correct information is being relayed to people, because I hear day in and day out a lot of people are given misinformation, whether it's intentional or not.
Well, if we're going to phone a friend, you have to tell us where to phone you, though.
Okay, would you like my phone number?
Yes, please.
813-532-7446.
Say it again.
813-532-7446.
Okay. And that is Ashley. So that way, you know, when you call her, say, Ashley, I saw this and I have questions. Because I still am like blown away with this information, because I would have thought if you had a will, you were okay. That's always been my understanding.
Right.
I can honestly tell you I've never sat with anyone as informative, been able to give me this much information on probate. So I am going to deem you the probate specialist.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so from now on, when I call you, I will call you and said, Ashley, I'm going to call you the probate specialist.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Okay. And is there anything else you want to tell us before we close out for the day?
I think that has covered enough for now.
Enough for now? You're going to come back?
Maybe more. Stay tuned.
Say you're going to come
Stay
back?
tuned.
Stay tuned. She's going to come back.
Yeah.
She'll come back and play with us again. That is great. That is great. So for a full picture of today's housing market and how it plays into your home plans, reach out to me, Kimberly Watson Johnson, at 727-946-6949. That number again is 727-946-6949. Thank you for watching Giving You Keys to Home Ownership. See you next week when we will go over what is a 2-1 buy down and how it helps sellers sell and buyers buy. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Hello, everyone. I want to take this time to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your day to tune in to Giving You Keys to Home Ownership. As I said before, I've been in the real estate and mortgage industry for 20 plus years. Oh my God, I'm dating myself. Doing this show has allowed me not only to educate you on ways that you can make your dream of home ownership a reality, but it has also allowed me to continue to learn and grow in this industry. Again, thank you for tuning in. I am Kimberly Watson Johnson with Giving You Keys to Home Ownership.
Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in again next week so we can go over more ways to help you find a home in today's market. Thank you for watching. Bye.